Welcome. My name is Bruce Fielder, and I am the worship associate this morning and part of the team that is working to bring this service to you wherever you may be. We are an inclusive congregation that welcomes you as you are, inclusive of all your identities, complexities, and situations. We welcome your whole self, even if it isn't fully assembled, because we recognize that we are all a work in progress and in this together. The service is being posted on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page so that folks can watch it again later. Feel free to share it with your friends. And as of next week, December the 12th, at 11 a.m., we will be holding our first in-person service since COVID shut down everything. So please put that on your calendars, and you are certainly welcome to attend, vaccinated or unvaccinated. Please wear masks if possible, and we will try to maintain social distancing inside Chandler Hall. But we are all very excited about our first in-person meeting on Sunday, December the 12th. Now, if you'll join me in our opening affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. For these high purposes do we unite in worship. Our chalice lighting today is by Deborah Burrell. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and peace. Now, our story for all ages will be presented by Maisie Everett.
Okay, a story for all ages. One day, a great and mighty lion was walking through the jungle. He was tired, so he lay down beneath a berry bush to take a little nap. Now, at the same time, there was a little bitty mouse walking through the jungle. The little mouse looked up and saw those berries on that bush just above the lion. That lion will never know that I have climbed up on his back to pick those berries, said the little mouse. But the lion felt a tickle. The lion put down his paw and caught that little mouse. "Oh," said the little mouse, "I didn't mean to wake you. I just wanted to reach those berries. I'm so very hungry." Well, now the lion knew what it felt like to be hungry. So he bent down and looked the little mouse right in the eye. Okay, I guess I can show you a little kindness. And he lifted that little mouse right up so that little mouse ate his fill of berries. Thank you for that kindness, said the little mouse. Someday I may be able to help you too. Oh, you think you could help? Oh, said the lion, a little mouse like you. Oh, okay, all righty, run along now, run along. A little mouse could help me. Oh. Anyway, that night, the lion was prowling through the jungle, and he was caught in a net that the hunters had laid. Well, the lion pushed, and the lion pulled, and the lion growled, but the lion could not get out of that net. However, the little mouse heard that roar. That little mouse just crept up silently, and he began to gnaw. He gnawed on that rope, and he gnawed on that rope. Now, it did take a while, but he gnawed right through that rope, and the lion was free. The lion could hardly believe it. That little bitty mouse has shown a kindness to me, and has set me free. Well, I can see right now that kindness is always worthwhile. Yes, said the little mouse, remembering having the berries to eat. A kindness is always worthwhile. And today we too can remember that a kindness is always worthwhile. Thank you.
We are gathered in the Spirit, our bodies are apart, filled with joy and touched with wonder, separate hands but mingled hearts, giving thanks and singing praises for the love that calls us on from our many different places. We are gathered into one. We are gathered in our sorrow. We are gathered in our fear, in our pain and in our worry, in our anger and our tears, as we tend to one another with our gifts and with our care. Our community is strengthened through the faith and hope we share. We are gathered in commitment to a planet that is whole. Works of justice, acts of kindness, bless the world and heal our souls. As our voices join together, may our song of peace resound. May we offer in abundance all the grace that we have found.
And now our reading for today's service will be presented by Maisie Everett.
Anne Hicks found me these lines from John Greenleaf Whittier. No longer forward or behind do I look in hope or fear, but grateful now I take the good I find, the best of now and here. and so the shadows fall apart, and so the west winds play. And all the windows of my heart are open to this day.
Our speaker today is Dr. Chuck Fisher, a retired Disciples of Christ minister, having been a minister for 55 years. After being active in the Panhandle area's Christian Church of the Southwest, he helped start Chalice Abbey in 2012 as a means to promote fair trade retail practices, as well as reach out to folks who were looking for a place to gather in a spiritual contemplation setting. Chalice Abbey is a recognized congregation of the Disciples of Christ Church.
We have questions. We want answers. We want the truth. You probably remember the memorable line from the movie A Few Good Men, starring Jack Nicholson as Colonel Jessup and Tom Cruise as Lieutenant Kaffee. In that heated courtroom exchange, Jessup says to Kaffee, "You want answers?" Kaffee says, "I think I have a right to them." Jessup says, "You want answers?" And Kaffee says, "I want the truth." And Jessup screams, "You can't handle the truth." So, what would we say to Colonel Jessup? I would argue, oh yes, I can. I can handle the truth. Can I? The last time I spoke to you, I had some cheerful advice. Practice loving kindness. Who does not want to be a kind and loving person? But we're not always so, are we? So what is it that hinders us? What is it that blocks us? Well, speaking for myself, the answer is anger. Do I want to be a kind and loving person? Anger is the greatest block. Anger is what happens when my narrow mind doesn't get its way. It was true when I was 2, and it's true today. When things go my way, well, I'm not angry. When they do not go my way, anger is often my first response. What is it about anger? Laura Huxley tells this story. You are canoeing on a lake. You are relaxed, happy, and at peace with yourself and with the world. As you paddle around, you notice a fog is rolling in, and you decide it's time to go to shore. As you do so, another canoe appears nearby. It too is heading for the shore. Unfortunately, it is doing so along a trajectory that will ram it right into your canoe. You call out to the other canoe, warning of the danger. You try and steer your canoe this way and that, trying to avoid the other boat, but no matter what you do, the other canoe is intent on ramming you. Well, you're concerned, you're a little bit frightened and not a little bit angry. This other fellow must be a fool or worse, and you shout it out. Yet the canoe continues to stalk you. And then, with a great bang and a shudder, it hits you hard. By this point, you're ready to physically attack that other guy, but as you peer through the fog, you discover there was no one paddling the canoe. It had simply come loose from its moorings and rammed you through no fault of its own. You realize you were not a target. And all of a sudden, your anger is gone. Where does the anger go? A friend of mine recently told me this story. It seems a buddy told him he was deeply hurt by a caricature that his son had drawn of him during a crayon session in kindergarten. He says, I'm doing my best to lose weight, he said, and I often use the phrase green with envy when I'm talking about people who can eat whatever it is that they want to eat, and they never put on weight, they never get fat. But my kid drew this grotesque cartoon of me all bloated and green. And my wife, she put it on the refrigerator. I think she believes that if I see how my son sees me, I won't go foraging for food. And it really hurts me. Did you tell them how you feel? No way. I don't want them to know they got to me. Now, are you sure that drawing is right? You know for a fact the picture is you? Of course it's me. Big, fat, green, purple suit. At this point, my friend started laughing. His friend was not pleased. Listen, go ask your son who it is he drew. It isn't you. I guarantee it. It's the Hulk. The Hulk, Bruce Banner, the comic book, the movies. You're kidding. My friend wasn't, and he wasn't wrong. As soon as his friend found out the truth set him free. He was angry. He was hurt. Where did his anger go? Where did his hurt go? The hurt and the anger melted away with the ending of a false story. This is the power of truth. Father Greg Boyle is an American Jesuit priest. He has served more than 40 years in the barrios of Los Angeles. And during that time, he developed and has run the largest gang intervention, rehabilitation, and reentry program in the world. Father Boyle tells a lot of stories. One story comes from Ricky. For a homie, Ricky is small, but he is stocky, he's scrappy, and he's shaped by 18 years in prison. He'd been tried as an adult while he was a juvenile, and now he's a middle-aged man. Well, he's out of prison, enrolled in the reentry program, and Ricky tells Boyle of a revelation that he had while he was in prison. It had to do with something that happened when he was 6 years old. A favorite and trusted uncle took him to the beach. Ricky had never been before. The man walked him out into the water, and he was thrilled as the water rushed over his legs. Before too long, a wave came, though, and knocked him over. And he was under the water. He started to rise up, and he couldn't, and he did get up for a bit, but then he was immersed again. He's gasping for air. Ricky would pop his head up, crying for help, and he could see his uncle, but he couldn't decipher what it was his uncle was saying to him, what his uncle was yelling to him. A wave came again, and again he was submerged. Ricky was convinced he's going to drown. When his lungs reached the surface, he frantically took in some air, and he started to make out what it was that his uncle was saying. Barate! Stand up! So, Ricky, now a 36-year-old man, says, I stood up. I've come to realize that I never need to drown in the shallow end of my own beliefs ever again. Been standing up ever since. I never need to drown in the shallow end of my beliefs ever again. That is a truth I can handle.
At this time in our service, we recognize the joys and concerns of our community. We don't have any known joys or concerns to share at this time, so I will light one candle for the joys and concerns not shared, but still felt deeply in our hearts. Usually at this time in our service, the congregation makes its financial offering. If you have made a pledge or would like to make a contribution, you can simply mail it into our office or you can make it online. There is a donate button on our YouTube landing page and on our website, uuamarillo.org. On the home page in the upper right corner, you'll find a blue donate button that will take you to a place where you can securely donate through PayPal. If you have made a financial pledge this year, please keep up your pledge. And again, while we are not meeting as of this Sunday in person for our 11 o'clock service, some groups are still meeting. The Nothing Much Buddhist group will continue to meet on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. using Zoom. Please check their Facebook page for more information. Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., the Knowledge Seekers class gets together and they meet to view and discuss DVD presentations on various topics. All are welcome as long as you are vaccinated, wear your mask, and maintain social distancing inside Chandler Hall. To extinguish our chalice, we have The Message of Our Faith by Maureen Killoran. This is the message of our faith: to act with passion in the face of injustice, to love with courage in the midst of life's pain. This is the meaning of our chalice flame. May it empower our hearts until we are together again.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Now, if you'll join me in our closing words, may the fellowship of this hour touch and move our lives until we come again together. Go in peace.